Yeah, I can't remember the joke, but I know there's three businesses that my dying wish is to put them out of business. It's Dairy Queen on Main Street, horrible service and it smells. What was the second? Creoles, J&B Food Mart, terrible service, and Winchester Colas. I'll tell you that. All three of those places are horrible facilities. So, welcome to Conversations in the Trap.
I'm glad we went on that list.
I'm your host, Mover Nick Freak. This is my co-host, Joshua Hooten, and today we have a special guest, Chad Walker. How you doing today?
Good.
Everybody doing all right?
Yes, sir.
This is an opinionated show, so everybody's opinion is their own opinion. His opinion is his opinion is his. I mainly keep mine to myself. So, our first hot topic for tonight is, how helpful is the Winchester Events, performance and events venue, to the community of Winchester? Now, I did see Adam Kidd post a PSA to check out the community events website for Winchester. Any group can list their events for free, and the crew from Winchester Events will help advertise it on several different platforms. I can't believe I got through it. That's good. So, your thoughts on the Winchester Events and how helpful it could be to the community of Winchester?
I have little knowledge of that, but I think that if everybody logged into it, then it could help. Yeah, definitely could. It could help small businesses where we need to pour our money into. So if all the small businesses join and then people join, we'll know what's going on around Winchester.
Not only small businesses though, but what you just described before we went on air, the bike ride.
Oh yeah.
You could advertise that through the Winchester Events.
Yeah, so we're trying to host a bike riding event this summer. Well, spring break. I got in touch with the Winchester Police Department to see if we could get an escort, if I could get a fireman or somebody, anybody that's willing to volunteer. Bring your bikes, bring your kids. We're going to try to make this thing happen. We're going to try to do it once a year. So hopefully it turns out good.
Your thoughts?
Oh, I think it's great. There's so many good events in Winchester that seem to get just lost in the shuffle. If you're not following Chamber, if you're not following tourism, or you're not following the Winchester Sun, so it's just divided too much. And if you could go to one spot,
Right.
just like Lexington, like you got Tops and Lex and you got todo.com.
Oh.
Those seem to be the two places that everything peels from. And also, like with Adam's page, there's no filter as far as, if you're having a backyard party, put it on there. If you're having a community event, whatever, like it can be anything. And I think that's great. I think what he's doing is a good thing.
Well, I hope you said Lexington had a topics or something like that.
Yeah, it's there's topsinlex.com is a web page that does Tops and Lex is a magazine, and then Chevy Chaser magazine also has To Do, which is TADOO.com, and they'll do like bigger events like music events and things, but they'll also do smaller like civic type stuff, and they're not going to do anything like somebody's garage sale or anything like that. But it just kind of I know if I want to know what's going on in Lexington that weekend, I can go to that one spot and find 30 different things.
Right.
When Winchester, you might go to Winchester Sun's page and they got a whole different listing than Chamber or tourism or whatever.
Right.
So it'd be nice to have kind of everybody pool that. And there's a lot of people that just on Facebook do their own event listing. Like Lauren McFraser does her Funchester weekend. So yeah, I think it's good to just kind of get it all together in one spot.
To be such a small town, we are divided.
We're divided a lot.
We are divided. We got to do better, Winchester.
How do we conquer the division? How do we come together?
That's a hard.
That's a good question.
Yeah, because I've talked to all kinds of different sides of the table. Like the older crowd, they really don't want to mingle with the youngest of crowds. And then you have the middle-aged crowd that's like, they're too old to go to the younger crowd, but they're not good enough to go to the older crowd. So yeah, that's tough.
You hit on it. I think that's part of it is just because it's not an event you want to go to doesn't mean it's a bad event.
Right.
Car shows aren't my thing, but the car shows are downtown every weekend,
Right.
So as long as it brings people and gets people together and gives them a kind of a united interest, have at it. And that should be across the board. Everybody should support each other's thing, even if it's not their deal.
Right.
Because it's still fun. I mean, there's still something fun going on.
Yeah.
All right, so we move on to our second hot topics. Now, I just seen on the If You Know You from Winchester, somebody brought up the murder a few years back with the 3 guys that was killed in an apartment building, I do believe. So, how come the investigation was stopped on the case of the 3 guys killed? Clayton Edge, Dustin Browning, and I really hope I get this name right, Robert Reese. Do you guys know anything about that?
Well, Clayton, I went to school with.
I thought I was.
Yeah,
I
went to school with
too.
Clayton. I think that stuff happened like between 10 to 15 years ago. They was found dead, shot in the back of the head, in their sleep. There's a lot of different rumors going around. They had went around, but I don't really know too much more after that. Like it kind of really like died off after like 4 or 5 years. Ain't nobody was talking about it.
That's part of me bringing it up tonight. Like, I wonder who was the lead investigator on the case. Is she still part of the Winchester Police Department? Was Winchester Police Department even the ones on the case, or was it the FBI? You know, there's a whole lot of unanswered questions. So, if you're watching this, you know, Winchester Police or whoever, can you answer some of the questions? Now, is it crazy that something like that happens in Winchester?
Nah.
You don't think it's crazy?
Nah, because if you just look at it, like every 5 to 7 years, something crazy like that happens. Like we had a crazy shooting where, like the girls that got killed up here by my Aunt Kim, they got killed and thrown in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
These guys that got killed never got solved. Yeah, a couple killings out here at behind rallies at those apartment buildings. And it happens periodically. I think Winchester is one of the most safest places that I've been, but you still can't turn a blind eye to not watching your back.
And it's crazy that it's not crazy. You know, it ought to be crazy. Like you go, this shouldn't happen. But you're right. It's a different world now, and it's a shame that it does. And I think it definitely, with a small community, affects it a lot more than, you know, like say Lexington or something, just because it's diluted.
Right.
Everybody knows who it happened to, but
right.
It still shouldn't happen. Man.
Yeah, that's kind of going into our conversation for tonight when we get there. I forgot to tell you guys, you didn't even ask what the conversation is. So, our third and final hot topic for tonight. You a UK fan?
Yeah, I'm a UK fan. I tell what's coming.
So, this question goes straight to Chad.
No.
Is it time for Calipari to pack up and go to Texas? Just move along.
I talked to him before I came in here. No, I didn't know that.
But I was sober. I said it in the interview.
He's on. Come on, get Cal. He's downstairs. He's gonna tell us. I don't know. You know, I think he did a good job for a good long while, and I think there's it just gets stagnant. You know what I mean? UK is used to winning, and I feel like it might be time for a change just because of that. You know, if nothing else, then it's
UK is
too
used
long.
to winning regular season, championships, tournaments.
Yeah. Even playing against junior high school teams, because that hasn't happened lately. So yeah.
Cal is the second highest paid coach at $8 million a year, and the last time he had a championship was 2012. I don't even gotta do the math, but
yeah.
And he's been there since 2008. So, as a UK fan, what would you like to see Cal change up or do to get you another ring? Hang up that banner.
I think they should fire him. I'm not even a UK fan. I'm a Louisville fan.
Yeah.
I think they changed the game for Cal when they put the money into perspective. Yeah. Like Asheway, what is it? Asheway?
Number 34.
Yeah, he's getting like $2 million a year to stay in school.
NIL deal?
Yeah, I guess. And then you got all of these other big name schools now. Like they can go and chase the people that Cal and them was chasing. They can go chase the 5-star recruits. You know what I'm saying? They can get.
But Cal's had the recruits every year. Just okay.
He's not a coach.
That's my question.
Yeah. All right.
Is he a good coach or a good recruiter?
He's a good recruiter, I think.
Yeah, I think he's a recruiter. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what about Payne going over there to Louisville? Wasn't Payne under his staff?
Yeah, he sucks. It's time to fire him too.
It's mid-season, eh?
Yeah.
You ain't got there already?
Already. We only won 2 games.
So, if you're watching right now, is it time for Calipari to go? I bet my daddy, if he watches this, he's probably going to call me, cuss me out right there when he was live. So, tonight, our guest is Chad Walker, owner of the Engine House Pizza and Sub Parlor. So, Chad, if you wouldn't mind telling people a little bit about yourself.
Sure. My wife and I bought the Engine House back in 2000, 2 months prior before the pandemic. My wife worked here in high school and college under Bob Tabor, and we just kind of wanted to keep the legacy going for Winchester's oldest continually operating restaurant, and we like it here. We enjoy it. My personal life, I own some commercial property in Lexington. I sit on 2 boards appointed by Lexington mayors, and yeah, just kind of.
Oh, you're a big dog.
No, I'm just like Adam. I carry a plunger every day in my truck. I do all the awful stuff that I got to do. But no, it's we've been trying to kind of help enact a little bit of change in Winchester as well, as far as getting the downtown back viable economically again. But it's making some progress. But yeah, that's
it. Seems like you guys make a great team too.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you right now, she is the boss.
Yeah, right. Jill, that's right.
Jill is the boss.
Yeah, absolutely.
I worked for Chad and them for like almost a year, and
no, he worked for Jill just like I did. Exactly what John did.
Great people, I'm telling you, great people. They have some great ideas. They want to see Winchester do well. Jill got a goat that she bottle feeds.
She put it up for mayor. Did you see that? She did a campaign trying to get the goat elected mayor. So. Yeah, that was fun.
It'd be better than the jackass we got in office.
So, what's your favorite thing about this business being located right here?
Just the proximity to downtown. There's so many good businesses close by that we feed off of, like Mason, over Mason's on Main, Braun at Eclectic, Lomas. It's just a cool, neat old building. It's haunted as hell. There's no question. It's absolutely haunted. So that's part of the charm. But it's just a neat old spot with a lot of history, and it seems like everybody likes it. It's kind of like Winchester's living room, and people come here and know that we'll welcome you in open arms, and if you had a bad day, we'll wrap a blanket around you or give you a drink or whatever we got to do. But try to just be just a fun spot we can hang out.
Right. So. As a restaurant owner, you might not hear all of this, but as a restaurant owner, how do you feel about people complaining about the options that they have in Winchester to eat at?
I get it, and it's tough because, like, for a small business, we don't have the capacity to keep the cost down like a McDonald's or Wendy's. But then the options that a lot of people want, to me, aren't necessarily a huge step up. Like if you're an advocate for like Cracker Barrel or something like that. It's like, okay, are you really going to call that good dining? That's right.
Seafood or
so
anything.
It may not be variety, but I think that this has some pretty good options versus just going to Applebee's or McDonald's or whatever. And nothing against either one of them. I mean, I've eaten both, but I understand. But I think they got to get out of their comfort zone and try the barbecue place on Broadway there, or La Trattoria, some of the spots that are a little bit hidden.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my own opinion. I think there's some pretty good spots, really.
It is. It's some real good spots to serve food here in Winchester.
Yeah. Mainly downtowns. There are a lot.
Mainly downtown.
You're here. The barbecue place.
There's been
almost Howard,
like 4 or 5 open in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So when we reopened, La Trattoria opened, and he's getting ready to open another spot pretty soon. Bargains on Broadway makes the best cheeseburger. Well, them and South Main.
They always have.
Mm-hmm.
They always have.
But South Main Grocery makes some good sandwiches up there.
So y'all make a good point. You just named about 5 restaurants that everybody keeps complaining about. Like, what is it, corporate franchises, things like that. When you can come right to downtown Winchester and enjoy a great meal. Now, is there anything you like to see happen with downtown Winchester?
Oh man, how long we got? I think that a lot of it has to do with just staying on the current building owners and things. There's a lot of new money coming into town. There's a lot of people investing that aren't necessarily even really wanting to turn a profit right away. They just want to make it better. And I mean, hopefully, you make a profit one day, but it's a lot easier to make a buck in Lexington than it is in this downtown. The construction costs are the exact same here as it is in Lexington, but the rents are way less. You know what I mean? So to capitalize on it is real difficult. But I think there's some, what I would call an absentee landlord. I think everybody else calls them slumlord.
Right.
There's some absentee landlords that are just letting their buildings fall into disrepair. And I hear it all the time of people that'll say, well, that's just a tax write-off for them to have an empty building. Well, tell me how that works, because I've never seen any tax write-off that
don't make no money.
That's right. You're not making any money. You only get taxed on the money you make. So where's the write-off? But I think that's the key to downtown is to really, if you got 10 buildings and they've got all viable businesses and they're all doing great and doing great things for the community, and you got one empty building, the perception is there ain't nothing up in downtown.
Yeah.
Well, downtown Winchester doesn't have 10 spots and then one. They got 5 and 5.
Right.
So it's a real problem that we need to fill some shops, or at least get on some of these owners to really step up their game and take care of the buildings.
I think it's time for them to bring young faces in.
Absolutely.
I think not saying anything about the older people that established themselves in Winchester, but give it to your grandkids. Let them, because they're more open-minded. In the 60s, when you went to school in Clark County, is not the same as in 2020 when you go to school in Clark County. So your friends, they have different friends from different races, different ideas. The hip hop generation has become multicultural. So country rap or whatever it may be. It brings in younger faces, bring in more revenue. And I like the guy that we had interviewed last week, Nasi, for Nasi Clothing. He had made a great valid point. You can't sell $100 items in a spot where there's only $20.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you come and you're trying to, I understand costs and overhead and all of that, but if you're trying to come and you're trying to sell Gucci bags on Main Street, it's not going to work.
Right.
Furniture store, no disrespect to anybody with a furniture store, but it's not working. It's time to move that out and get some arcade games in.
Yeah.
If you draw the kids, you draw the crowd. It's just the old way of thinking.
Yeah. And I think the government, I'm not saying the city has to get out of the business of, the city needs to run city things.
Right.
The private industry needs to be the one looking to, all right, bowling alley, arcade games, Nerf studios or whatever. Those are the ones that really need to appeal, because there's a huge amount of youth in Winchester.
Yeah.
But it's not up to the city to always take care of us to say, all right, what do you guys want? Now we're going to go get that for you.
Right.
Like it's for us. Like
Right.
we're going to be the ones to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been seeing this woman. I don't want to say her name because her last name's kind of hard. Shelly. I think it's Shelly Castellani or something like that. Sorry. But she's trying to come together, get everybody in the community to start like a teen center. She wants like basketball, bowling, arcade. I think she was talking about the old Save-A-Lot building.
Yeah.
Where's
yeah.
it at?
Out there by McDonald's.
Okay.
Yeah. Out there by McDonald's. That's a big old empty building.
Huge.
Huge. At least, I'm going to say between 4,500 square foot.
Yeah.
About 7,200 square foot. Like it's enough space. It's enough space to put the grocery department and Walmart in there.
Yeah.
So right now, Chad, tell us a little bit about that petition going around.
Well, we put that petition together. There's a position. It used to be called Main Street Winchester, and then they switched the name to Winchester First. Okay. And so the gist of it is that position is a city employee that essentially is going to be an events and promotions planner, and they bumped the salary by 25%. They changed the title, and we kind of got together and said, look, you're spending $50,000. That's the salary.
Right.
Not just, you start picking up benefits and all that, it ends up being like, $80,000 or something. To basically be what I kept, I said derogatory, but it's party planner.
Right.
So if I'm hiring Josh, and I go, look, you're my advertising guy, go advertise, he's going to say, well, what's my budget? Well, there's no budget associated with this.
Right.
So you basically have a $50,000 a year position plus benefits that has no money, or they haven't allocated money to go promote. So how's that work exactly?
So you giving away $50,000 pretty much?
Pretty much. So in my mind, the thing
I'll
to do is
for
go.
25.
That's what I'm saying, and that's what other places do is they go, okay, we'll have a part-time person. 25 goes to your salary, and you spend this $25,000 on promoting, on advertising.
Yeah.
That's a big budget.
Yeah.
$25,000 a year.
Absolutely.
$2,000 a month. So
absolutely.
we put the petition together. We went around. Adam did it door to door, and then I did it on the change.org, and we got almost 300 signatures, and it was, in my opinion, ignored by the commission. I think they didn't really understand why we had a problem with it. But you have that many petitioners, and then your city council or your city commission still votes unanimously to approve. Well, I'm sorry, they didn't vote unanimously. Shannon Cox was the one that voted against it.
He always does.
That's right.
He always does.
That woman that I just got to talking about, she said he's going to be at that meeting that they're supposed to have about the teen center.
So what I think we need to do is everybody that is of age to vote and under the age of 50, not saying anything bad about 50-year-olds, but everybody that's able to vote age 18 to 50 need to start turning out to vote. You get these people off the board, and we put people in there that look like us. Young, not necessarily young, but somebody with fresh ideas. Somebody that's going to give the people a chance. Somebody that's not going to let 17 buildings on Main Street just go to rot.
Are they all considered historic buildings?
Yep.
Supposed to be.
It's all a historic district. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that.
They
Old
won't
doesn't
let-
always mean historic, I guess. But
Yeah, they won't even let you change the windows.
Yeah.
Like the windows, half of the buildings in downtown, like Bob Tabor, he has that building downtown, and we was going to redo it, and he sized the windows and called some people, and they was like, no, you can't change the windows.
Yeah.
So what is the point of doing anything if you can't make it energy efficient?
Yeah.
And it's just crazy rules, and it's going to continue until we as the people make a change.
Thoughts on the mayor and the city council or city commission?
Joellen Reed, is that her name?
Yeah.
From my understanding, she's pretty cool. I mean, just from what I've heard about her, I've never spoke to her. Didn't even know that she was the mayor until we did the show with Adam. Yeah. I thought old boy was still the mayor. Yeah. So
she's all right. I mean, I've spoken with Miss Reed several times. I think she's got some good ideas. The whole commission, they're good people. I mean, they really mean well, I think, overall. But you hit it right on the head, is that you got anybody that's done the same job, and looking back to even Coach Cal, anybody that's done the same job for 20 years, there's going to be a level of complacency there that you just go, you're comfortable, you're just floating. It's time to maybe get some different opinions. And I will say this, though, that the city commission is extremely accessible, as are the meetings. The meetings are it's the first and third Tuesday of each month. And so when Jill and I bought the place, and she's from Winchester, we've been around Winchester her whole life. I didn't know anybody, but you wade in there and you figure it out, and it's real easy to get kind of okay. There's if you have a question about why this building's empty or what, you can call somebody and they'll kind of track back on it, and they're good about that.
right.
But I think you're right. We need some new ideas for sure.
Downtown needs an uplift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has all the earmarkings, y'all, for really being successful for Winchester. And I'm not just talking about even making money. I'm talking about quality of life, housing that's respectable and decent, and has a reason that people want to come here. People that aren't from here come and sit in my bar all the time and go, your downtown is beautiful. Like, it's amazing. People that are from here go, our downtown is terrible. That's right.
Yeah,
so
it's terrible.
you kind of forget sometimes. It's like people live in New York. You never go to Statue of Liberty.
Right.
You forget how pretty it is, or at least it could be. Some of the stonework and stuff down here, you couldn't do for $1 million now. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But they still
just
the
need
people
to
that own
upgrade,
together.
man.
That's it.
They need to upgrade. They need something for the kids. If we had anything, any kind of entertainment downtown Winchester, you'd be surprised on how profitable just having something free for the kids would be to small business. Like, I've heard people say it 1,000 times, well, the kids don't buy, the kids don't. Well, who has to bring the kids out?
That's right.
The parents have to bring the kids out. So, I mean, if you know anything about business, if you're a good seller, There's your gateway right there.
Did you guys see the Halloween Mania? Did you guys come down for it?
Uh-uh.
It was wall to wall. It was probably, as far as the amount of people in downtown, it was probably second only to the Christmas parade.
Yeah.
It were kids. I mean, if you
If
you owned a vasectomy clinic, if somebody had a vasectomy clinic, they'd have made $1 million that night. Every dad in town, it was absolutely packed with kids. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And so that shows you people are willing to come downtown.
Right.
They have to have a reason. The reason that night was free candy. So.
Yep. They have to have a reason.
A few more questions real quick. Favorite thing on your menu?
Oh, I like, so the calzone is awesome, and I get them to make me a Momoa calzone, which is with pineapple, kind of that Hawaiian ham, and a little bit of hot drizzle on it. So that's my own.
Yeah, she named that after Jason Momoa.
I am not Jason Momoa.
She didn't want me to tell Chad because she got a picture in the bathroom of Jason.
Only thing I got close to Jason is I kind of got long hair. That's about it. I look like Jason Momoa 20 years after he got chunky.
All right, guys. Now's the time we jump into our conversation for the night. And our conversation in the trap for the night is, why does Winchester need a neighborhood watch? I've seen that the Winchester police, there's a lieutenant or sergeant that's supposed to be heading up a neighborhood watch. Do you think Winchester needs a neighborhood watch? Chad.
You put me first. All right. Well, I mean, I don't know if you need a neighborhood watch or not. If you live in a good community, and I'm talking about like a community that's, your neighbor. You know what I mean? I'm not saying necessarily $1 million houses and like that. If you were in a community, you already got a neighborhood watch. People look out for each other. You don't have to have a title. And I think the neighborhood watch part of it sometimes ends up being, you get too many people that go, well, I'm part of neighborhood watch. I got a sticker. Now I'm going, cause some trouble. That's right.
Yeah.
So,
get these kids,
the regular neighborhood watch when I was a kid was you walk across and talk to your neighbor, and then they did the same. And you're out of town, and you say, well, keep an eye on my place. That's neighborhood watch. Not, these, you don't want some roving group of dudes coming and keeping an eye on your place.
I mean, it could definitely be disbeneficial, I guess, non-beneficial rather, because you get some people that are high strung, and now they got a little authority. Like and now it's they got a flashlight.
It's Winchester,
they got
man.
Sticker. They got their radio.
They like pistols over here, man. So I don't want anybody with pistols walking around.
It could be crazy. I don't think we need one. I don't.
As a whole.
Yeah, as a whole. I mean, Winchester Police Department. Even though I don't know a lot of them now that's on the force, I think they do their job up to par. For the most part.
When we was coming up, it was like 13 police officers.
Yeah, now it's 30. Yeah, now it's 30.
45.
Yeah. I ain't, like I said, I seen 3 cops last night at my part-time job that I'd never seen before. And I asked one of them, Officer Ashcraft, I talked to him, he's pretty cool. From just talking to him like 10, 15 minutes. I asked him how long he been on the force and stuff like that and see if we can get this thing together for the kids. Seemed like a real good dude. You know what I'm saying?
Hold up real quick. I was at the light the other day. I looked to the left. I said, man, I know him. You know me, I rolled the window down. I was like, hey. So he rolls the window down. I was like, man, what's your name? He was like, Goodrich, Dominic. Officer.
Yeah.
I said, man, are you undercover or something? He's like, no, man, I got my kids. He was in a man. I said, man, I undercover.
Hey, I cover. That's crazy.
So
you blew his cover.
Yeah. Man, I said, it gotta be a twin brother or something. Her was wild and all. I said, man, who is that?
Yeah.
It's Goodrich, Dominic. I said, oh yeah, it is. You So you don't think due to Clark County has one of the highest death rates due to overdoses in the state of Kentucky. Now, I'm not saying that a neighborhood watch is going to stop any of that, but I do believe something should be in place to where, to keep an eye on the deaths. I don't know how. I guess they give Narcan, they give needles, and they do all that other things. But what else is there that could be in place besides, I guess, locking up the drug dealers? You know,
it goes back to having things to do. I think
that's what we talked about with Adam.
Yeah. I think. I mean, I mean, it's common sense. You can find Osama bin Laden in Iraq's, but you can't stop the drugs and bad influences.
You know that's not going to stop, because if you stop the drugs, then you stop
the
another
police,
part of money.
Yeah.
Then the jail stops and then all that. So you're never going to stop it. But it's not the drugs, but it's the deaths. Because, like, man, I got like a bunch of classmates.
You know, that's what I was about to say. You know what I come to find out? Like, these kids that was born from like 99 to 2003 have already experienced meth.
Think so?
I know so. I work with 2 of them.
Oh, okay.
They not on drugs no more. Thank God.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they done cleaned their life up. But at 14, 15, they was sitting around, they was telling me how at 14 and 15 that meth was the thing. Like for their age limit. Like meth and heroin was their thing. Like at 14 and 15, what was I doing at 14 and 15? I definitely wasn't doing drugs.
In the streets.
And that's what you can't come back from. I mean, that's life changing forever and ever and ever if you can even get off of it, you know.
But even they said this, now that he reflects back on it, he's like, man, the school system really failed us. He was like, because once we got into high school, it was pretty much no child left behind. So all I had to do was show up for school, and I got passed on to the next grade. And then when I got to my senior year, it was like, well, I'm gonna go get high, skip class, and they still gonna graduate me. And then when you get out here in life, you're like, well, damn, I don't know nothing. And it was never nothing for them to do.
No, I'm not blaming the school system for that.
No. I'm not blaming the school
system for that.
But I'm just saying, it's like as far as like when we was younger, when we was in school, we had those teachers that would smack you in the back of the head. Mm-hmm. Like you would literally either have to fight them, either have to fight them or do what they say. But now they ain't got that.
Is not just Winchester, but is the world like less caring, less sympathetic?
Maybe, but I think they're maybe a little bit afraid to be caring too. You know what I mean? Because you start getting in there a little bit and actually caring, and then you get accused of, you know, being creepy or weird or whatever. So I mean, I think you hit on it. It ought to be just that. You know, if you've got a teacher and they see something that's going on, I mean, at least holler up at somebody and, you know, try to help the kid out. I mean, boredom's a huge part of it, but so's peer pressure. Yeah. You see that stuff come down the pipe all the time with bullying, and it's just it's a hard world for those kids. It really shouldn't be.
See, like with the neighborhood watch, you really don't need a neighborhood watch if us as human beings are caring and respectful to one another, look out for one another. Like you said, that would be the regular neighborhood watch. You talk to your neighbor, hey, I'm going out of town, watch my house. So that was our conversation for the night, guys, in the trap. And then we do our dime trap. We got 10 questions real quick. All right. So, all right. And then these is not, I didn't tell you none of these.
Oh,
these
good,
on the spot right here. So, will Trump be the Republican candidate for 2024?
No.
I don't think so either.
You don't think so?
Nah. Who would or should? Definitely won something.
I did it again. Hold up, I can't see. Dana White slapped his wife at a concert or something. Y'all see that? The president of UFC?
He should be in prison.
She slapped him, and then he slapped her back. Now, the question is, should his punishment be the same as he would give one of his employees?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because you are held to a higher standard. I think the higher you are up on the food chain, the higher the standards become.
That's right. Practice what you preach.
Yeah,
he's going to be that way, absolutely.
Absolutely. I think he should be fined. Like, he should be something. There should be some kind of council set in place to where he could be punished for his actions.
Yeah. So you don't believe in he should be canceled or have to lose his job?
No. The cancel culture is terrible. I think that's one of the craziest things in the world because It could be a
It's the
lie.
internet too.
Yeah, it could be a lie. It could be a lie, and you're stripping somebody from their way of living.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah, the cancel culture is terrible. I don't think he should be canceled. I think he should have to talk about it. Like I think you should have to sit down in front of a bunch of women and explain your reaction.
That's a good idea. I like that a lot.
Dana White come on Conversations in the Trap. I got a whole panel of women you can talk to. Chad, best tequila.
What's that stuff downstairs? The something Blanco. Esperanza. Esperanza? That's it. Yeah. I couldn't remember what it was. I don't like tequila. I don't like tequila at all. But for some reason, that became the shot of choice here. Like after a night or whatever, and okay, you got to chill it or whatever. So Esplanade, that's it. Esplanade. Sorry.
All right. Is the UK U of L rivalry still have fire behind it? You know, back in the day when UK and U of L played, like
I don't even watch the game.
everybody was locked in on that TV.
It might have a little fire. It doesn't have the hatred like it did when it was, you know, when Patino first went over and all that. You know, there was some good.
Now the Cal go to Louisville. Oh, they gonna
Get it back.
Yeah, they gonna burn. They gonna burn
Get
it.
it back.
Yeah,
You watch football, Chad?
a little bit.
Super Bowl predictions. Just don't say.
I didn't even watch it this year. That's
Say
I know.
anything but Cincinnati and Dallas.
No, I wouldn't say Cincinnati anyway.
Like, who you got? Who?
The Cowboys and shoot. I don't know who else to go.
Yeah, I see. I haven't watched 2 games this year.
Who's left? No,
Bills.
Chiefs. Chiefs or the Bills.
Chiefs
As
or the
long as
Bills,
Cincinnati don't make it. All right, check this out, Chad. Take a punch from Mike Tyson, or jump out that window.
Oh, jump out that window all day long. Mike Tyson, when he was 5 or 85, I would get hit by that dude.
That's
Absolutely
one of the main
not.
questions everybody's taking to jump out the window.
I look like, what was that dude, Zach Galifianakis in Hangover when he laid him out.
All right, I said best tequila, best bourbon.
I would be pretentious and say Pappy. I don't think so. There's a new one called Red Line, and it's a bourbon aged in a honey cask, and it's delicious. And it's not crazy expensive. You can actually find it. And somebody brought me a bottle not too long ago, and I like it. So that's a good one.
Favorite vacation spot?
Anywhere but here. Puerto Rico. We went to Puerto Rico one time. That's where we got engaged and loved it. It's U.S. territory, so you had to have a passport. Food's still pretty cheap. Lodging's still pretty cheap. Like, it wasn't foofy. They still had legal cockfights down there, so you could go watch better cockfights. So, you know.
All right. It's kind of a political question, but you don't have that. Fair trade. Russia's arms dealer for a basketball player, Brittany Griner.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Well, I love how Chad just laughed.
I see Josh over there swirling. I knew it was coming.
That is the
Absolutely
worst
not.
deal in the world. It's got to be. Who gives up a Russian arms
I
dealer
wonder what he's doing
for
right
a basketball
now.
player?
What do you think he's doing right
He's
now?
plotting to blow up the United States. Hey, listen, we got to
He
get
might
that.
just get his money, though. It might not be.
He already supported the war on Ukraine before they traded it.
No, okay.
He said it. He
He
said,
got his
yeah,
hands
yeah,
in it.
he got his hands in it. Russia just got they got their guy back. Yeah.
That's good.
We're just going to move along, Chad. All right. Last one real quick. Tell the people where you're located and
Sure. 9 West Lexington Avenue, the Engine House Pub and Pizza Parlor. Winchester's most haunted and delicious and all kinds of good stuff. Jill does crazy things all the time, like she's doing a fundraiser right now for the Humane Society, and we'll do a big event for Patty's Day, and yeah, just come see us. It's fun.
all right. So come shop at and eat at the Engine House. I gotta do these plugs. I always forget. Excuse me real quick, guys. Check out Rob Dobbins' Central Kentucky adult parties. You can go online. Did you attend the last one?
Nah.
You didn't go. Rob Dobb.
I saw you there.
Don't worry about it. Central Kentucky adult party. Hey, Rob Dobb tags everybody on. If you know you from Winchester, then they get mad. They're like, "Why am I tagging this?" He says, "Listen, If you want attention, if you're seeking attention before I kick you out, go ahead and say something slick. Because don't nobody want to get kicked out that group. And it was one more I was supposed to plug. Pootie's Palace. Go shop at Pootie's Palace. Get you some hair. And Mickey's Bar. Trying to get my man Brian Carter in there. And
Mickey's great. They're great people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we went for the New Year's.
Good time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We was gonna come up here, but I think Adam.
Brian kept talking.
Yeah.
A brain kept talking to me. He hugged me like 7 times. He's drunk as hell.
Everybody bouncing. Everybody went back and forth between Mickey's and here. We did the ball drop. We got a big landscape ball we wrapped in aluminum foil. Did like a New Year's drop.
And then Adam was drunk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He
couldn't even stand up outside. He wanted to walk down Main Street with us.
It's like, nah, just go back here. So, appreciate you, Chad, for sitting down with us and
Had a
talking.
good time with you guys. I appreciate the opportunity.
Everybody right now, go like, subscribe, share, comment on Conversations in the Trap. Once again, come down to Engine House Deli, get you a bite to eat, Engine House Pizza Sub Parlor, and Al Services. What you do tonight? Pressure washing.
Yeah, I was pressure washing the cold, man. I think I got thorough. I was going.
It was windy. I don't know how you did that. It was windy.
I set my price too early. I think it's set my price too early. Nah, but shout out Stephen Miller and his wife, GP Life. Another shirt. Go shop. Local.
Well, this has been another episode of Conversations in the Trap. Thank you for tuning in.